Hi, and welcome to Alaskan in Thailand. Today I thought about tell you how much my actual bills are for a month here and living in Thailand. Just my bills of actually what I have to pay each and every month that come to my door, the actual bill, not including my food and my visa, which my visa is paid up already for the year. But these are my actual living bills that show up every day. So, starting off, I guess I should start off with just my rent bill, which I paid today, by the way. I hope you can hear me. It's windy again here. Love this beautiful weather. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon, Friday afternoon. But starting off with my rent's just a studio apartment. There's no horns and whistles. Just got a TV, which I never use or anything. But yeah, just my basic pretty much place to sleep. I'm out of the room most of the day. It's kind of small. I don't want to stay in there. Although it ain't cramped. I don't feel cramped at all. It's bigger than some, but it's actually just a studio apartment, probably 25 or 26 square feet. I'm not sure. But my rent is 11,000 a month. That's 11,000 Thai baht. And that comes to $345 a month at today's exchange rate. It was actually $340 a month before, but the exchange rate goes up and down a little bit. So that's how much my rent is anyway. So that's right off the top. Save that much. You can live here cheaper. There are cheaper rents. There's rents. I know people that are paying. I've seen rent for 5,000, 7,000, but these are small, probably not furnished, and it goes up from there. But on average, you're going to pay 13 to 15. That's 450 to or 475 to 600, 700. Some like in La Casita, they're paying 700, 800 a month. Some of them, depending on the owner, they'll charge different rates for different rooms, even on the same floor. If it's a bought unit, they're renting them out. So you actually got to go, find a cheaper unit or somebody that'll rent one cheaper. But they can be had. But mine is actually quasi average, I would say, for living. If you're trying to live near the beach, you're not going to get a cheap rate like that. I'm pretty lucky for the rate I got, what I did. And I signed a year lease too, so it gets cheaper the longer you sign. If you try to go in and ask for month to month, it's going to be more. Just keep that in mind. So starting off with my rent bill is 11,000. And what else we got? Then comes my electric bill. As far as my electric bill, I don't use, like I mentioned, I don't use a TV. I just have a hot pot for making tea. I have a little cooker pot that I use. It's electric wok, actually, and I use that to cook once in a while. I don't cook every day, maybe two times a week. The takeout food is so cheap here, you really won't want to cook at home, honestly. It costs you more to buy the ingredients than it does to buy something for 100 baht at the some dish that's pre-cooked already. But I do like to cook once in a while or eat my own cooking, so I cook once in a while. But other than that, like I say, no TV, just plugging, charging my phone and my shower. My shower is electric too. The hot water heater is electric, but it's on demand, so it really don't use much either. I do shower every day, so that's my other electric usage is just basically my phone, my shower, phone charging, my shower, my hot pot, and my cooking wok once in a while. But that comes to 463 baht. I just paid that for the month of November. Oh, and my aircon is on this too. I don't use a lot of aircon. In fact, just this past week or two, I turned off my aircon and my fan basically. I don't even need a fan anymore. And I can keep my door closed. It's gotten that cool here in Thailand where as long as the sun ain't out, like today, I don't even use the fan. It's nice and cool right now. Perfect weather, actually. But my electric bill for the month of November was 463 baht. And that exchange rate comes to $14.53 US. That's US dollars. So imagine that, a whole month of electric bill, including aircon, which I do use once in a while. If I come in sweaty, I turn it on. But otherwise, when I'm there, I'm just using the fan mostly. I turn it on to cool it off at night. So yeah, imagine that, less than $15 US, you can heat your Heat, yeah. Keep cool. I wish you could heat my house in Alaska for that, but no. Well, wood. It cost me more than that in chainsaw gas, probably. But yeah, to cool my place and heat, have lights and power. I have lights in every room in my shower, like I said. And less than $15, $14.53 for 1 month of November electric power in Hua Hin Thailand. Moving right along. What else we got here? Moving right along. My water bill, my water usage. Let's see, I take a shower every day. I don't wash dishes usually. I just rinse a plate. Mostly take out food, so you throw that away. I shower every day, and I do laundry in the sink. Every day I do laundry. I'll do my whatever I take off that day. I'll just laundry. That's one cool thing about Asia. Laundry's pretty cheap and easy to do. You don't. I'm not wearing just shorts and thin shirt. You rinse them out with some Joy soap and hang them out in the balcony, and they're dry within a couple hours, and it's no problem for me at all. Towels, same thing. The bedding you can do. All I use is sheets anyway. They're not even hard to do. So, yeah, I just do my own laundry in the sink, and I let the water run when I'm washing it and lathering up the soap and stuff. So I'm not real sparing with the water. There's no water shortage here. They're not asking us to be conservative of water at all. So, yeah, I just use my water freely like I want to. And for this month, it come to 259 baht. That comes to $8.13, which is a little high. Some will say that's even a little high, but yeah, $8.13 for a month of water. That's using it freely, showering daily, washing my clothes daily, just rinse and soaping them up. And that takes 10 minutes. So yeah, and I buy my drinking water. That's another thing I should add that expense on. And it's only 5 baht, so that's 30, 40 cents or 15 cents for a big liter jug. So it's not costing me literally nothing. Won't even peg the meter. It's a handful of change or less per month. So yeah, that's my bills. That's all my bills that actually come to me every month. My visa's paid. I got the retirement visa, and that paid up all at once, so I'm not going to count that on my bill. I've broken that down on actual budget bills. But yeah, so far that's only my budget bills, and I can ring the total of that if I wrote it down somewhere. Maybe. No, I didn't. But yeah, let's see. I thought I did. No, maybe I did. So yeah, well, that ain't much. Figuring it up here in my head. I'm real bad at math. So let's go with 345 plus 1450. So that's 355, almost 360. And plus another $8, we're looking at less than $375 a month, or $380 a month in bills. That's my steady bills that I come in with. So less than $400 is going to be your bills. And I'm not any transportation. I'm not renting any motorbikes. I actually don't go anywhere. You could find cheap transportation here. Grabs are usually only at $3, $4 to go about anywhere in town. Get on a motorbike for 50 baht. That's $1.50. It'll take you about anywhere in town. And the baht buses are 15 baht, and that's only like 50 cents. And that'll take you up and down the main drag about anywhere you want to go to. So that's cheap enough. You really don't. I don't use it. I walk everywhere. And my biggest expense after this would be food. In fact, it's bigger. It's probably bigger than my food expense. Or bigger than all my other bills combined is my food. And you can live cheap if you want. You can get $3 meals. You can find meals for $1.50. If you look hard and you eat where the Thai live, there's little meals for 75 cents. Little bit of rice, a little bit of ground pork, and some cabbage or something. They're small. You could eat 2 of them. But yeah, for 75 cents, if you're really struggling, you can get a meal. I would say on average you can spend around this is not eating at restaurants. You go into a restaurant though, at like Sizzler or something. If you sit down and order a steak dinner, that's going to cost you $30. It really will for a decent, half decent steak. It might not even be that great. It'll get you a baked potato and a salad bar maybe for $30. You go into McDonald's, and the meal here is going to be cheaper than it is in the West, but it's still going to cost you. A burger is going to be $4 US. A Big Mac or quarter pounder's like $4. So that's all. If you want to eat at the restaurants, it's going to cost you. But if you go to the night markets and stuff, you can buy Thai food. There'll be baked. You can get something for 130 baht, which is $3.50. You can get something cheap as $1.50 if you look around. Pad Thai or something pretty cheap for 40 baht. That's pretty common. Thais usually they only spend 40 baht on a meal, and that's less than $1.50. You can eat like that. And that's one meal. I'm kind of down to eat one or two. I eat a meal and then a snack later. I do buy fruit and things at the markets and bring home. I don't have a lot of groceries. I don't go to the store and buy a lot of groceries. If I'm going to buy something for cooking, I buy it that day and eat it that day. The only other thing I keep on hand, I'll keep bread on hand. I'll keep peanut butter on hand, some fruit, garnishes, a few, mustard, ketchup, mayo, crying tiger, or some hot sauce and stuff, milk, things in my tea. I'll have some chocolate chips. I like chocolate chips and peanut butter sandwiches. But so yeah, and that's only eating once a day. If you're eating 3 times a day, you can I'd say, figure it safely, buying toilet paper and shampoo and stuff. Figure about $10 or $20 a day at least. If you're eating 3 times a day, you might want to figure $30 a day, $40 a day maybe. So it depends how cheap you want to eat. Do you want to eat Western food every day? Can you eat Thai food? And the Thai food is cheap if you can find it. If you can, it's all over actually. You can't hardly walk past it. But if you can resist going in all the expensive restaurants, you can live pretty cheap here. But that's my bills for the month, so I'm living on less than $300 or $400 a month in bills, and then I tack on about another, 400 at least for food, probably. So, and my bills probably closer to 600 a month for food. That's what I figured into in my budget. So 600 in food, and this other 400 is it comes to around 1100 a month US total, my total budget. But these are my bills, and just thinking you guys can figure in what you're going to eat when you get here, and how much you think you're going to spend, and how cheap can you think you can live here. It's all up to you. If you're used to eating rich food in restaurants, it's going to cost you more. But this will give you a baseline of bills, what you can expect to pay just for your survival of home and electricity and water, the basics. Well, I hope you got something out of this. If not, get your money back. I'll give you a look around before I shut her down. Love this cool weather. Kite surfers are real happy too. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Check for new uploads every day.
See you in the next one.